Sichuan and the uses on the Janagos and repeated Lama Michel the lot of person I can just so here.
Sutra do Lama Michel Rinpoche Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumadhyana Shasanada Samudashikara.
Sangye chedan soge chonamla jancho bardo dani kyapsuchi dagi jinso gibe sonamgi drola pinchira sangye druparash Sangye chedan soge chonamla jancho bardo dani kyapsuchi dagi jinso gibe sonamgi Drola pinchira sangye druparasho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge unto enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentients. Em Buddha, Dharma e Sangha, tomo refúgio até a iluminação, com a prática da generosidade das outras perfeições, possa eu atingir o estado de Buda para o benefício de todos os seres sencientes. Nel Buddha, nel Dharma e nel Sangha prendo rifugio fino all'illuminazione. Con la pratica della generosità e delle altre perfezioni possa io ottenere lo stato di Buddha per il beneficio di tutti gli esseri senzienti. E nel Buddha, e nel Dharma e nel Sangha tomo refugio hasta que alcance la iluminación. Con la práctica de la y de las otras perfecciones pueden alcanzar el estado de Buda para el beneficio de todos los seres. Okay. So, I'd like just to take the opportunity that we are all here together. Can everybody listen? That's okay. My idea originally was just to make the transmission of the three main aspects of the path and to do the self-healing together. But then Luz made one request. So according to her request, I will give some explanation. Okay? So she requested to give some explanation of the practice of Guru Yoga. And I was remembering one thing. You know, when we come to this temple and many other temples that we see, we can see that the main statue is Lama Tsongkhapa. No? And this tradition is coming because since the time of Lama Tsongkhapa, when he built his monastery, which is the monastery of Gangchen in Tibet, in central Tibet, near Lhasa, when the monastery was being completed, he never told which statue to put in the center. So they built the monastery, and in the central place of the altar, it was left without statue for some time. And then during that time, they were also they were asking, but later they were asking, what is the statue and so on, no? And the answer was, the essence of the practice is the Guru Yoga. So later they understood, and then his disciples, they put the statue of Lama Tsongkhapa in the center. Okay? But the meaning of that, it comes already from the time of Buddha, because when Buddha passed away, after that, before passing away, he said to his disciple, he said, look, it's not important, for example, his relics. He said, please, we don't need to give so much value for the relics of my body. What is the most precious things is my teachings. That's what you need to value the most. It's not the rest of remaining of my body. And most of all, he said, my teachings will remain through those that will represent my teachings. So that the teachers that to whom we give the lineage. No? Also, that's why I believe if we look, Buddha never left anything written. No? If we think it's not because Buddha didn't know how to write, or it's not because at his time there was no means to write, like paper or ink or whatever. They had, like in ancient India, they would write on the banana leaf. They would have the banana leaf dry, and then they will, with a little metal thing, they will write the letters inside, you know. So without ink, but they had many methods of writings at that time also. So why Buddha didn't write anything? The reason why I believe personally, this is a personal belief, which I cannot say that's the real reason, it's just my own personal understanding, is because if Buddha would have left things written, we would be attached directly to the written thing. And the problem of anything that is written is that as time passes, the words change meaning. Century after century, the words change meaning. And if we remain only attached to the word, we may lose the actual meaning. So because of that, it is very important that in the moment that the transmission is oral, which means because what needs to be transmitted, it's not the words, it's the experience, it's the actual meaning. When we talk about bodhicitta, bodhicitta is not a specific word. It's an inner state of being that needs to be transmitted from master to disciple, from generation to generation, how to develop this inner state. And not how to develop, and not just a specific term and a specific definition. No? In the same way, all the teachings, that's why when we have one of the debates that was done here the other day, it was about the transmission of the Dharma, that is done through two ways, which we call turning the wheel of the Dharma, of the oral will of the Dharma and the realization will of the Dharma. So this is why I said that the transmission, the teachings to go from master to disciple, to remain alive, since the time of Buddha, it must be gone through two different types of transmissions, which is the transmission, the oral transmission, or let's call the oral transmission, and the other transmission is the transmission of realization. The oral transmission is where we explain things. For example, when we talk about the Four Noble Truths, Buddha taught Four Noble Truths, and nowadays we will teach Four Noble Truths. It's not because we are in different times, we take one truth out. Because we don't like to listen about suffering, we take out suffering and we just take out the three. It's not like, or we can add another one, we make the Five Noble Truths. It's not like that. We explain the teachings in the same way like they were explained before. Okay, so we keep the same tradition. The realization, the transmission of realization means that the one that is transmitting, he had the inner experience of that teaching, and then he can share that based on his experience. And he adapts it to the needs and the capacities of the disciple that is there. Okay? And this is fundamental. Without this, it just becomes something conceptual. Okay? So, I remember even one time I went to one Zen master in Italy. We were having some problems with the Italian Buddhist Union, whatever. And I went to talk to the Zen master. And he was very clear because he was saying, he said, the Buddha is the teacher. When you are in front of your teacher, you are in front of the Buddha. Because he's doing the job of the Buddha. Ramona, just sit and listen, relax. Okay. So he's saying, when you are in front of the teacher, you are like if you are in front of the Buddha, because he's transmitting, and that's how it was since the time of Buddha. So Lama Tsongkhapa made this very clear. And when we talk about our lineage, we call Gelo Gande Nyingyo. So we are part of the oral lineage of Ganden. So what's the meaning of this? It's said that the main teaching which is given orally. First of all, the meaning when we talk, we say that we are part of an oral lineage. It's also called the whispered lineage of Ganden. And here there is also something very nice to say. Lama Tsongkhapa, when he first founded his monastery, it's the monastery of Ganden, no? And originally, the tradition was not called Gelugpa, was called Galugpa, which is the tradition of Ganden. The meaning of Ganden means the place of great joy. Gawa means joy, Dewa. Den means that has, no? That's the Sukhavati, also, Dewa Chen. So basically, the tradition of Lama Tsongkhapa, the original name was Galugpa, the tradition of joy. That was the original name. But then what happened is that Tibetan language have a lot of things related to the way how things sound. There are some things that they don't sound so nice, so they change the way of talking, not because of the meaning, but because of the sound. And Galugpa really don't sound nice in Tibetan. So, later, it was changed from Galugpa to Gelugpa, which sounds better. And Gelugpa means the tradition of the virtuous, or virtue. But the original name of the tradition is the tradition of joy, of happiness. That's the original name of our Gelugpa tradition, the Gandempa. So, if we see the name of our lineage is called Gelu Ganden Nyingyu, so basically it means the whisper lineage of Ganden, the whisper lineage of the place of joy. That's of those that have joy. That would be the original name. So, when we talk about whispered lineage, when we talk about oral lineage, the meaning of that mainly is that the main transmission of the teachings is something that cannot be written. What we truly transmit, it's something that goes much beyond words. Okay? So this is what when we mean the whispered lineage. Even last year when Trijang Rinpoche came to Italy, after that, some of our friends from the Sangha went to accompany him to Austria. And then they had a meeting just to say goodbye from Rinpoche, sent few people to accompany him back. And then they had a small meeting, and then Trijang Rinpoche was saying that he was very happy of the time that they had together with everyone in Albagnano and so on. And then he was saying about this deep feeling of joy and this strong connection that we have. And then he was saying, this is the meaning of the whispered lineage. No? So, what we mean is that there is something that is transmitted that is much beyond words, that cannot be put into writing. Now, very often when we say the whispered lineage, people think there is some secret teaching that is not put in writing. Okay? Oh, and because of that, this is some very secret teaching that is said, something whispered from ear to ear, and this is something that cannot be put into words, and that's actually the whispered lineage, and who has that teachings, and so on. From my understanding, the oral transmission, the whispered lineage, it means that the essence of what is transmitted, it's something that is much beyond words. Okay? And I think many of us, not to say I could say all, but I cannot speak for everyone, so I would say most of us, we have this experience. Okay? And this is something that is extremely valuable and precious. And this is something that can be transmitted only from one person to another person, from heart to heart. It's not something that we can learn in the books. It's not something that we can learn on a university. It's not something that we can just learn by having a lot of knowledge. It's something that we need to receive a direct transmission. We need to be touched deeply in our heart. Okay? And as it says, a whisper, as we said, is beyond words. So it's because it cannot be written, it can also cannot be also put into words to express truly. No? But on the path to enlightenment, it is said that one of the most important things that we need to do is to cultivate this deep, strong connection that we have. This is one of the most precious, important things. Why? Because when we talk about the path to enlightenment, when we talk about our own path, it's not something about knowledge. Okay, knowledge is very useful, it's very important, I love it, it's good. It's useful. But it's just one part. We can have the whole knowledge, it's not enough. Okay? It is very important for us to believe that it's possible to reach the result that we want. It's very important for us to have an example. And most of all, when we take refuge, when we think about the path, it is very important to unite two aspects, which is the love and trust that we have for our Guru. And the Guru, when we talk Guru Buddha, is not one person necessarily. It can be different people. It's the actual image in the embodiment of the Guru, okay, which is inseparable of the Buddhas. We need to have faith on the path, on the Guru, that is showing the path, that is the example for us that it's possible to follow that path. And we need to have faith on ourselves also. The same level of faith that we need to have in the Buddhas, in the Guru, we need to have in ourselves. And if we keep just the image of a Buddha, which is the historical Buddha, for most of us is extremely far away. You know? It's actually quite difficult to develop a deep feeling of love and trust for Buddha. With my greatest respect. No? When we visualize Buddha in front of us, beautiful, wonderful, very wonderful feeling. But it's different that when we have someone that has touched us so much that we are deeply in love, that we have this strong connection, that whenever we see, whenever we listen, whenever we remember the name, it touches ourselves deeply. So, what happens is that when we have connection to one person, okay, that is for us the door to connect to the path to enlightenment, but it's also the example, because it's a person in flesh and bone, is the example for us that it's possible for us to do it also. Okay? This is very important. But then that person must have the same type of connection with his Guru. That must have the same type of connection to his Guru. And like this we go on and on and on and on. This is very, very important. That's why we call the uninterrupted lineage. Okay? And through that, what happens is that we go from one to the other until we reach to Buddha. So, this is the way how we can actually truly connect to Buddha Shakyamuni. This is the way how we can connect, as we call today all the holy beings, to our path to enlightenment. So it is said, especially in our tradition, that the essence of the path is the practice of Guru Yoga. There are many ways of doing the practice of Guru Yoga, many ways of recitation, different types of visualizations, and so on. But the essence of the path of the Guru Yoga is for us to develop and to cultivate this deep love, trust, faith, connection that we have between ourselves and Guru Buddha. Seeing that Guru Buddha, we call Guru Buddha because it's our Guru that is inseparable from the Buddhas. He's inseparable in two senses. One, he's doing the job of the Buddhas for us. No? As it says in the Guru Puja, if we would take all the Buddhas, in which way can a Buddha help us? By interacting with us, no other way. Okay? No one can help anyone else other than interacting with that person. Okay? So which is the way how a Buddha can interact with us in order for us to go to enlightenment? By showing us the Dharma, by giving us love, by being near to us. So, the greatest way of kindness that a Buddha can manifest to us it is in flesh and bone. We like to imagine, no? Great things of light and the Buddhas emanating who knows where. If we see something in our dreams we think is very special. And then if we see an image in the middle of a rainbow, we think how wonderful. But there is no other greater way of a Buddha, of a holy being to manifest. There is no way of greater compassion and wisdom than manifesting in the level that we can see, that we can touch, that we can be guided. No other thing greater than that. Okay? So this is something that it's said in all the teachings. We can read this everywhere, but we can understand it also from our own understanding, because we can have all the holy beings. That's why it's said like in the Guru Puja, no? Sangye drame jumbe madwe marunduge nidu drowala deshe lamsa jishintemba yikyab kuntuje chenla sowadeb. Even though hundreds and thousands of Buddha have already come in the past, they were not able to tame my mind. Now you, my Guru, you are able to tame my mind. So your kindness is greater than the kindness of all the other Buddhas put together. What is being said is that basically, when we have someone that can actually show us the path, is doing the job of the Buddhas. The point here is not for us, in our Western mind, sometimes we have this idea, when we say that the Guru is is the Buddha, then we start pointing our finger and checking, is he a real Buddha or not? Okay? And our attitude is to try to go to look for defects. Let's see if he's a Buddha, if he's not a Buddha, if this and that and so on. Okay? The point is not that. The point is that my Guru, for me, no doubt is a Buddha. First of all, he's doing the job of the Buddha. Okay? There is no other way how a Buddha can manifest to myself. Maybe, yes, some subtle ways, the Buddha's blessing us and so on, but we are too ignorant, we are not able to see it. Okay? Second point, myself, I am not able to see perfection, because everything that I see is a reflection of my own mind, and I am imperfect myself. I can have a perfect Buddha in front of me, I will see always a lot of defects. So, and it's strange the things, no? Because if a Buddha manifests to us in a level that we can relate, then we come and we say, you are not a Buddha because you are like me. When actually he's manifesting in order to be like us, in order for us to be able to connect to. Okay? But the point that I want to bring is that there are two ways in which we see the Guru as a Buddha. One way is because he shows us the path, he's doing the job of the Buddha. He's the one actually fulfilling the actions of the Buddha. And in another way, we see our own Guru as the one that is the one connecting us to all the lineage and to all the holy beings and to all the Buddhas. If we make a modern metaphor, imagine that all the Buddhas and all the Dharma is like the whole content of the internet, okay? And then what happens is that the Guru and the connection that we have with the Guru is like the connection of internet that we have. If we have a very slow connection, we can have only very little information at a time. Everything is there, but if our connection is off, we cannot get anything. If we have a very strong connection, okay, it's just like if we have not good faith and so on, it's like that old connections that will go, remember old times? And when you have a good connection, you put a fiber optics and there you have very strong connection and stable connection, okay? Another thing which is very clear, I saw this in many people, I saw this in myself, the more our faith is clear, the more our trust, the more our certainty in the path, the more we have trust, the more we have faith, the more we have love we feel loved, and we love in relation to the Guru, the more our path is stable. In the moment that we start putting doubts, in the moment we feel something not good in relation with our own gurus and so on and something, then it's like all the information is not coming clear anymore. That's why in the whole path, all the teachings, when you take the teachings from Lama Tsongkhapa, when he teaches the path, he starts, the first thing is how to rely correctly upon the Guru, which is not a matter of how to respect correctly, stand up when the Guru stand up, make offerings. It's not that. This is another thing. It's part of it, but it's another thing, it's secondary. It's how to cultivate inside the connection, how to cultivate inside the love, how to love and how to feel loved, how to see the Guru as the Buddha, and also seeing the Guru as the one that shows the path that we can reach, is the example of what we can become also. That's also very important for us. Okay? So, it is not easy to cultivate his mind. Okay? One thing that is really not so easy for any one of us is to truly entrust ourselves in someone else. To truly take refuge is not obvious. You know? It's like, this is in all times and in all cultures. We think our Guru is the most wonderful Buddha until he acts exactly in the way how we expect him to act. No? In the moment that he says something we don't like, in the moment that he's doing something we think is not the best way, in the moment that something happens in a way that we don't like, we are the first one pointing the finger and shooting with our criticism. But who gets harmed? Ourselves, no one else. So it is important in our path to cultivate this connection. It's to cultivate the love and the connection we have. And the connection is not towards one person. The connection is towards the whole lineage as we go up to Buddha Shakyamuni. But how can I reach to Buddha? Through the Guru that has the connection to the Guru, that has the connection to the Guru, until I reach there. Some years ago here in Tibet, we were in another monastery where we are going, the next monastery, Demogonsar Monastery in Yushu. And I was making an interview with one Lama. And he said something very nice. He said, it is fundamental on our path to have an uninterrupted lineage. What does that mean? It means that we have true faith and love towards our Guru. He has or had true faith and love towards his Guru, and like this we go on. And the example he gave is that if you make a house and you can make a beautiful lighting system, you make beautiful lights and you make all the electric cables, everything perfect, okay? But then what happens is that between your house and the power plant, one power pole fall down and the line breaks. Even though there is the line arriving at your house, even though everything is done perfectly in your house, you cannot turn anything on because the line broke in between. That's why if in the lineage between us and Buddha, if there is someone in between that broke the lineage, then we cannot receive the blessings. No? Some time ago in Tibet, there was one monastery called Gangchen Monastery. There are around 32 monks, a very nice monastery near Lhasa. And they asked me to give teachings to them. And I said, come on, there are so many people here that have so much knowledge between you. Why you need from me? And their reason was because you come from an uninterrupted pure lineage. Because they trust Lama Gangchen. And this is so important for all of us. And we have this. So the practice of Guru Yoga, in very few words, is where we cultivate this. Okay? So I like to explain to you the essence, a very simple way of doing the practice of Guru Yoga, and a way that Rinpoche is always doing. Is a little bit like his, not secret because it doesn't keep secret, but somehow in Tibetan we have the words which we say when we receive the teachings, we need to receive the empowerment, which is one, the lung, which is the transmissions, the tri, which is the commentaries, and the menga, which is the menga means the personal instructions, is the instructions that the master gives to us, which comes from his own direct experience, and is something that you cannot find written in the books. Okay? So what I like to share with you is something that is part of the menga, is part of the instructions. It's not part of the normal commentaries that we can find. Okay? So, first of all, when we talk about the practice of the Guru Yoga, there are many, many, many different ways how we can do this practice. And they're basically extremely similar. When we do the Guru Puja, or when we do the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa, or when we do the preliminary practices, it's all the same practice. Okay? It comes with taking refuge, then making the 7 limb prayers, making the request of the blessings, meditating on the path. That's basically the structure that we have. But there is a very essential practice in which the first thing that we do, we imagine Guru Buddha in front of us, okay? And if we have more, some people ask me, what do I do if I have more than one Guru? No? Is it possible? Can I have more than one Guru? Can I not have more than one Guru? And so on. It is said that when we are in the very beginning of the path, the less Gurus we have, the better. Otherwise, we can make confusion and conflict in our mind. The more we go through the path, the more we develop ourselves, the more we have more understanding, the more Gurus we have, the better it is. Lama Tsongkhapa himself had more than 100 Gurus. Okay? And actually, many of his Gurus later became his disciples, actually. Okay? But just some time ago, when I was in the United States translating for Trijang Rinpoche, one day I was in the break time. I went up in the room, and there were some 2 bodyguards that were making the security for Trijang Rinpoche. And they were not disciples. They were just people that actually they were people they make professional bodyguards, and they were just there doing their job. And I was actually looking to them. They were receiving the Heruka commentary, sitting the whole day there, standing up, listening. And one day they came to me and they tried to ask me, but who is this Chakra Sambara guy that you are always talking about, And I tried to give some explanation about who was Heruka and so on. And then they start me explaining it, asking me what is a guru, how it is. And then it was funny because I needed to explain to these guys that were like very much Americans, military style, what is a idam, first of all, no? And then I was trying to explain, and I explained, okay, imagine that you want to become something, then you act like that, and then slowly you become, he said, like James Bond. I said, yes. So you try to be like James Bond, then slowly you become like James Bond. No? But the main thing that I wanted to share was they asked me, how many Gurus can you have? No? And I said to them, imagine that you are a beginner soldier, and then what happened if your general tells you something? Do you need to follow the order? He said, sure. So what happens if you have more than one general and they give different orders? I said, this is not possible. You can have only one. No? So I said, this is when you are in the beginning of the path. When you go more, you can have different ones giving orders to different aspects of the path. We can have one guru that is teaching us more how to meditate. Another one is showing some aspect of philosophy. Another one is going to give us a specific empowerment. Another one is going to teach us some aspect of the philosophy. And like this we go on. And we can put all together because we take clear refuge in the Dharma. Okay? So when we meditate and we have more than one guru, we meditate on them. This was one instruction I received from Dragon Rinpoche. He said, we meditate on them like being like one hologram, that one become the other. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it transforms into the other, sometimes it transforms back into the other one again. It's like one that is actually all them together. Okay? Sometimes it transforms into the Buddha Shakyamuni, Lama Tsongkhapa, Yamantaka, or the Idam, and then transforms back into the Guru. It's like inseparable. Okay? So what we do is that first we visualize in front of us our Guru Buddha, okay? And it's important when we visualize the Guru, it's like, how to say, when we remember someone that we love very much, it's not just a matter of seeing the image. We feel something inside, no? So, visualization is not just seeing a picture, it's imagining, it's feeling the presence. So, it's like when we imagine someone that, when we remember someone that we love very much, it touches our heart. This is what we do when we do Guru Yoga practice. The way how we visualize the Guru actually is not so important if he's wearing the yellow hat or what implement he's holding, of all of this. That's not the most important thing. The important thing is we visualize the Guru in the aspect that touches our heart. That's the essence. It's not a matter of, okay, because sometimes we read the text and there's the explanation. Okay, visualize the Guru seated in the throne like this, like that, and he's holding the Vajra and the bell, and here's the text, and there is the yellow hat, and this, and maybe we get lost in all the details. And we think that if we don't visualize all the details correctly, we do wrong. No, we need to visualize in the way how touches our heart the most. Okay? Then all these implements, they have meanings. Wonderful. But we need to visualize the way how touches our heart. Okay? For example, when we visualize the throne symbolizes the qualities of the Guru, which is like the 8 lions symbolizes that they have gone beyond the 8 fears. The 8 fears is like actually jealousy, attachment, doubt, ignorance, miserliness, pride, arrogance, wrong views. Okay? So it means that the Guru has gone beyond the 8 fears. We have the lotus seat symbolizing that he has developed pure renunciation. He sits on a sun and a moon cushion, symbolizing that he has developed pure bodhicitta and correct view of reality. Okay? So there are different meanings of all the symbols that we can put in the visualization. So the more we go on and we learn the meaning of the symbols, for example, if we visualize the Guru holding the Vajra and the bell, it symbolizes that the Guru has developed purely method and wisdom, which means bodhicitta, love and compassion and wisdom. But it's important for us to see the visualization with the meaning. But as we move along with the practice, our visualization will change gradually and can develop one step after the other. It doesn't need to be right away just as is written in the text. Okay? So we imagine our Guru inseparable from all the Buddhas in the same aspect as it touches better our heart. Then, if we make it a little bit more extensive, this part it's not necessary, or we are not obliged to do, but when we make a little bit more extensive practice, we can have doubt and say, oh, this is not really Guru Buddha in front of me, this is just my visualization. Okay? So in order for us to take away that doubt, what we do is that we visualize that from the heart of Guru Buddha emanate light, going to all the directions, going to all the Buddhas, inviting all the holy beings to come, and all the Buddhas come and absorb into Guru Buddha in front of us. And this is what we call when the wisdom beings become inseparable of the commitment being, which is the visualization we have. So then the visualization in front of us is not anymore just a visualization, it becomes inseparable of all the Buddhas. Okay? Then at this point, basically, if we make more extensively, we need to do what is called the 7-limb prayers. The 7-limb prayers is not something that we need to recite. We can recite in order to remember what we need to do. But truly, the 7-limb prayers is something that we are supposed to do every day as a practice. It's one of the important practices that since the time of Buddha is transmitted to do every day. And it's an inner process. That the words that we recite, they help us to do this process. But the actual process is something that happens inside. So basically what we need to do, we make prostrations in order to cultivate our faith and humility and gratitude and respect. We make offerings because it's through the offerings that we manifest our respect and our faith and our gratitude. Okay? And we cultivate it also. Then we openly admit all the negative actions we have done, which is a way to avoid repeating them again in the future and to purify our own negativities. Then we rejoice on all the virtuous actions. Then after that, we request Guru Buddha to give us the teachings, always to guide us on the path to enlightenment. We request Guru Buddha always to remain with us until the end of samsara. And then we dedicate our merits for the benefit of all sentient beings. Once we have done the 7 steps, the most important part is the one that comes after, which is the one where we make the requests. And this part normally we can do by first making the request prayer, which, for example, if we do our own guru, we do Locho Sambo Pagyo Toshipatu Chetempetin Learnoda Pigyo Zambe Zeparche Pandelami Shabla Slowadep, which is the request prayer to the guru. And then we do the mantra of the guru. Oma Guru Vajradara Sumati Munisha Sane Karma Utavardanya Shri Bhadavar Samanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Hum. As we do the mantra, we request Guru Buddha to bless us, to bless our body, to bless our speech, to bless our mind, so that we can become inseparable from Guru Buddha. And as we make the requests, we imagine the lights from the 5 chakras, white, red, blue, yellow, and green lights coming from the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha to our 5 chakras. Okay? As we know self-healing, we can concentrate specifically. If we feel more anger, we concentrate more on the blue light coming from the heart to the heart. If we feel more fear, from the secret chakra. If we feel more pride, on the navel. If we feel more attachment, on the throat. More ignorance, on the crown. And like this we go on. Okay? And then we can focus on each one of them, or we can do all the 5 together at the same time. And then as we imagine this, we imagine that the light and nectar that comes from Guru Buddha is bringing all the blessings, and through his blessings, we are able to purify the negativities and to develop the qualities related to each one of the chakras, just like in the practice of self-healing. Okay? So we eliminate ignorance in the crown, we develop wisdom, we eliminate attachment in the throat, we develop satisfaction and concentration, we eliminate anger in the heart, we develop love and compassion and stability, we eliminate miserliness and arrogance in the navel, we develop humility and generosity, we eliminate fear and jealousy and envy in the secret chakra, we develop rejoicing and certainty in every action in the secret chakra. Okay? So the more we go into self-healing, the more we can understand in this moment also. Okay? Then we just imagine the lights coming, purifying the negativities. Okay? And the important thing is the more we do the mantra and we visualize the light coming, it's like if gradually we imagine that we are developing our own qualities and becoming more and more near to Guru Buddha. Okay? In the end of that, we visualize that Guru Buddha comes towards us. He becomes small, like the size of a thumb. He turns around, sits in our crown. Our central channel opens. He enters through the central channel, where we have here, this point here, which we call the Brahma door, the door of Brahma, which is Fontanella, no? This part here in the crown where we are born, it's still open, no? It enters from here. Guru Buddha enters slowly, slowly. First there he has the throne, no? So first come with the throne, then first the throne descends, and absorbs into the lotus flower that is in our heart. So in our heart, we visualize an 8-petaled lotus flower, which actually the 8 petals are the 8 channels of our heart. Then his throne comes down and it absorbs into the 8 petals. Then his own lotus with the sun and the moon cushion come, absorb, and dissolve into my own heart in the lotus flower with the sun and the moon cushion also, which symbolizes my own indestructible drop, which is the essence of the Father in the moment of conception, which symbolizes where is our very subtle mind that goes from life to life. Then, because also when we ask Guru Buddha to bless us, we are not asking to bless only us in a gross level, but we are asking to bless our mind in the very subtle level. We are asking to bless the mind that goes from life to life. That's the most important thing. No, because we are always changing, many things are happening, but there is something that continues. That's what we need to get blessed. That's what we need to change. Then, from that, then Guru Buddha comes very gently, very happily, with a beautiful smile, and he sits in our heart. When he sits in our heart, we imagine that before of that there was the syllable Hum. We imagine like a small beam of light, a small point of light, which is our own very subtle mind. And when Guru Buddha sits in the lotus, his subtle mind and our subtle mind mix together. Okay? And he's given the example like to make a vase of clay, you need the clay argila. Okay? Argila. To make a vase out of clay, no? You need the 2 things. You need the clay, and you also need the person that knows how to make the vase. Okay? So, in this case, our own very subtle body, speech, and mind is like the clay. The body, speech, and mind of Guru Buddha that comes is like the one making the vase. So, Guru Buddha shapes our own mind and body. Okay? So we become inseparable of Guru Buddha, in which he is the one shaping our own body and mind. For us, in order for us to become like Guru Buddha. Okay? So it's not that he comes and then suddenly we become like him out of the blue. It's like through his blessings and through his presence, he shapes our own body and mind in a very subtle level, and we become inseparable of Guru Buddha, in the same inseparable nature as Guru Buddha. In this moment, it's very important for us to imagine that our mind expands. We imagine what would be like to be just like our Guru Buddha. So what we imagine, what would be the experience, inner experience, to be without jealousy, without anger, without attachment, without fear, without ignorance, full of love and compassion and wisdom. How would that be, the inner feeling of that? So imagine that we have an infinite inner space full of love and compassion. Okay? This is called the moment of what is called the absolute Guru Yoga. We remain in that state for as long as we can. Then when we come back, and from that we meditate on the union of great bliss and emptiness, which is the nature of the mind of Guru Buddha. And then after that, we come back from that state of meditation, and then we keep Guru Buddha in our heart. And here comes a very important thing. When we stop the meditation, after that, we conclude the meditation. There are 2 ways of doing. In one way, the lotus closes, and Guru Buddha remains in our heart with a rainbow light inside the lotus, inside our heart. And also, he can remain with the lotus open also. Okay? But the important thing is that after that, when we finish our meditation, which can be very fast, if you see, Rinpoche is always doing this practice. He always do. And then Oma Guru Vajadara Sumati Ganasha Sanadara Samudra Shibara Sarvasiddhi. He always do this. When he enters the car, before making a speech, any moment. What he's doing? This practice. Visualizing the Guru, light and nectar coming, come, sit in the heart. This is the essence. Then after, anything that we need to do, when we are eating, when we are walking, when we are talking to someone, any moment, what we do is that we can, for example, when we have a moment of pleasure, any pleasure, we drink something that is nice. When we feel the sensation of pleasure, we imagine that we offer that pleasure to Guru Buddha that is in the heart. And by offering to Guru Buddha that is inseparable of all Buddhas, we offer to all Buddhas. At the same time, we dedicate that sensation of pleasure to all sentient beings. Okay? When we have a moment of suffering, a difficulty, when we feel fear, when we feel lonely, when we feel jealousy, when we feel attachment, when we feel any negative feeling that we don't feel comfortable, we take refuge in Guru Buddha in our heart. We remember the instructions of our Guru. We request his blessings. We remember his love. We concentrate our mind in the love that we have and the love that we feel on our heart. We feel his company to help us in that moment. Okay? When we are in a situation where someone pays respect to us, for example, this happened to me sometimes when giving teachings, people come, do prostration or something. We always think that this is not for me, but it's for Guru Buddha in my heart. Also because if there is anything for me to give, it's because I have received it. So we always dedicate it to the Guru Buddha in the heart. For example, if we are near to someone that is sick, okay? There is one, this is also some more little secret, which is one of the ways of doing. Normally, Rinpoche, he adapted the name of Reiki, okay? In Tibetan, we never use Reiki, use the word Chawan, okay? But basically, one of the ways of doing this, of transmitting the blessings of healing also to other people, is that the more our Guru Yoga practice is stable, okay? One of the ways of doing is by inhaling through the two left and right channels. Imagine that we receive all the blessings. We inhale, we imagine the energy coming in. Then we focus the energy in twin fingers below the navel. Then the energy enters inside our central channel, goes to our heart. It becomes inseparable with Guru Buddha in our heart. Okay? Then when we exhale all the blessings together, coming from Guru Buddha in our heart, and then we exhale that again. And this is one of the ways when, for example, blessing through the way of blowing. Or, for example, when putting the hand, we imagine that from Guru Buddha, it goes through Guru Buddha, and then the blessings go to the person. Okay? There are many ways of doing like this. So if we keep the practice of Guru Yoga very stable, then this is the door for many, many, many things that we can do also. Okay? So it is important that then we are in the daily life, we always remember Guru Buddha together with us. We always remember the teachings. We always bring that in our presence. Okay? So I would say that this is the essence of the way of doing this practice. We can be explained in many extensive ways, but this is the essence. And it's important always to remember that it's not a matter, when we see, for example, Lama Tsongkhapa as the main image, it's not because we don't want Buddha and that's, we are obsessed by Lama Tsongkhapa. It's because it's through the Guru that we reach the Buddha. It's to remember us that. It's to show us this connection of the path. Okay? So this is the way how Lama Tsongkhapa has passed this. So as I was saying before, this is the true meaning of the whispered lineage of Gangchen. It's the transmission of faith, it's the transmission of trust, it's the transmission of love that we have from Guru to disciple, from generation to generation. Okay? So what I would like to do now is I like to give you one transmission of for me one of the most important practices, teachings, which come directly from Lama Tsongkhapa, which is called the three main aspects of the path. Okay? And because on the whole path, on the whole teachings of Buddhism, if we need to put the essence of everything, we need to love ourselves, which means to know what is good and what is bad for us, and to cultivate what is good and to abandon what is bad. We need to love others, open our heart towards others, and we must have a correct view of reality. That's the most important thing. Okay? So I will do the recitation now following the melody of Tashilumpo, which for me it is very important one also, with the blessings. Okay, if somebody have the text, if can, okay, I got the text here. And then we imagine, in this case here, we have Lama Tsongkhapa image there, okay? So we can imagine that these blessings of the transmission, they come from Lama Tsongkhapa. In this case, I am giving the transmission, so it comes through me, and from me goes to the heart of each one of you, okay? So as I will say the words in Tibetan, we don't think that it's only the sounds that we receive, but we imagine that through that it's coming all the meaning of love towards oneself, love towards others, and correct view of reality. Okay? You just imagine now like a flow of light coming from the lineage gurus, okay? Coming to my heart and from my heart to your heart. Okay? Sashi peke chushi medo tran rira li shi ni de gemba di sangye shindu mikde uwarge drogu namda shin la chuparash yidam guru ratna mandrala kam niryataya jetson lama nam la ya chatselo Gyalwe sonra künge nimpoyate Gyase tampa namge ngapelam Kalden tarde namge jungoyate Jitra nishinda gishe paracha Kanda sipe de la machashin Del churate ye chachir tsempaye Gyalwa ye pe lamla ye tempe Kalden te datan we yiginye Namdange chume brasi tsoye Tena denre tenire shive tamela Sila kampa yikya luchenam Kune chinchir to marnge chunze Del choranye katsela lome apa Yela kompetse dinashedo Lendre milu korwe dungenam Ya sampe chimena shedo Tetara kompe korwe punsola Yime keche tsamyami keshin Nitsen kuntu tarpa teniralo Chuna te tsenge chunke bala Ne chun te yanamda semkeki Simpa me nala me chanchubaki Punso dewe gyuru mi gyurawe Lode namange chanchu sem choke Shudra chuo shi ye gyun ge ker de ka le ge chin wa tam pe dam dan zin cha ge cha we buk su tsu ma ri mun pe ma chen kun ne tip Müme si par keshin ke varu Dunga sumge gün çeme paranar Ne kaldin rar gör ve manamangi Nganzı samne sim çoke barazu Ne lo to peshera mi dena Ne chun chan chu sem la kom che kyang Si pe tsa wa che para mi nu pe Te chir ten re to pe tabla be Kanshi korde che namatam che ki Gyunre namya luwa me tonshi Mi pete so kanyi kunshi apa Tenyi sange gepe lam la shu Na wa tendre lo wa me padang Tompa ke len chalwe ko wa nin Jese so sor na wa te si atu Ta dun tu pe gompa topa mem Nam shere jo me barachik charatum Tendre mi lor tsong wa na tsam nianem Nye she yu gi zin da kun shiana Te tse ta we che ba tso pa la Shen ya na we ye ta sel wa dang Tom pe me ta sel shin tom pa ni Gü dan re bur char we tsul she na Tar zin ta we cho par mi gyuro Tetra lam ge tsovo namasongi Ne nam rangi chi shin to petse Emba tente tsundru top kenem Tengi duma nyur tu chuba shipu Mime tsewe terche chenre si drime kimbe wambo chambe liang Debo malu chumse sangwe da kanche kebe tsuge tsonga pa Losan drabe shabla sowa de mime tsewe chenre si drime kimbe wambo chambe liang Debo malu chumse sangwe da tsuge tsonga Losan drabe shabla sowa Mime tsewe terche chenre si drime kimbe wambo chambe liang Debo malu chumse sangwe da kanche kebe tsuge tsonga pa Losan rabe shabla solwade Sera kundu gyawa tsunga be tekcho shinye ngodro tsebe tu gyawe ngakbe lamsa denye Keche tsamyan do parama gyurachin the essence of the three aspects of the path, the last verse is when Lama Tsongkhapa say, "Oh my child, once you understand the meaning of the three main aspects of the path," which means once you understand what it means to love yourself, renunciation, once you understand what it means to love others, bodhicitta, once you understand the correct view of reality, shunyata, then live in solitude. Keep yourself away of distractions and make that the main objective of your life. So it's like if someone asks, what do you do in your life? We don't need to say, but the true answer is, I want to love myself, love others, and have a correct view of reality. What do you do for your livelihood? Oh, I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, I am this, I am that, I work in a shop, I work in a factory, whatever. But what is the main objective of our lives? To develop true love towards ourselves, to develop true love towards others, and to develop a correct view of reality.